Welcome to Elite Redfang the Unruled. So this is Warlock life number 3, level 5, doing the Great Old One Pact and focusing on the Soul Eater tree. So let's look at the gear real quick. This is going to be really similar to gear I had from my last lives, but maybe a little bit different. So I got moderate fortification on the head, resistance 4 on the goggles. I remembered that I am not a druid this time and can wear metal armor. I'm so used to having to wear leather that I forgot that metal was an option for Warlock for low level crafting armor. So just got +4 skirmish chainmail there. Got the Braces of Wind because I like the permanent blurry. That's all I'm benefiting from there. Improve false life on the ring. Just feather falling on the boots. Strength 4, Impulse 48, Con 4, and I'm using the Cloak of Flames because the Soul Eater has a Burning Blood SLA, so I thought the extra fire spell power would be good to help out with that. It's got some other goodies on it too, you know, at the higher tier version, so it's not a bad option. Just wearing the Voice of the Master for now, and Charisma 4 on the necklace. And of course I got the Invulnerability Shield, one of my favorite craftable low-level items. And then got Corrosion 48 on the scepter. For enhancements, I'm going to be focusing on the Soul Eater tree, as I said this life, but I did pick up some of the stuff from Tainted Scholar. Right now I've worked up to the Cone Shape Eldritch Blast, and that's a lot of fun. I do like that better than the chain blast, I think. I've only been using it for a couple levels, but I think that I like it better. I did have the Burning Blood SLA, and I tried this Your Flesh is Weak here too, but I dumped those because I wanted to get this extra pack damage for now. But I think the rest of the points that I spend are going to be focusing on the Soul Eater tree for a while. Now, the Burning Blood, I will pick that up again, but Your Flesh is Weak, I'm not going to. So the way that this enhancement works is that it's a single target, spell-like ability, and it drains an ability score, and you get to choose. There's a selector here. So whichever one, Constitution, Dexterity, Strength, whatever. And then for, I think it's 20 seconds, it adds that to your stat. So I was thinking, I'll take the con one, it'll drain their con and give me some temporary con. It'll be like, pseudo healing, but it doesn't really work out that way because the extra hit points you get from that bonus con for 20 seconds, they're whatever damage you took during that time. That it doesn't treat those extra hit points like temporary hit points where it takes them off of those first. As soon as your con goes back down after the 20 seconds expires, you still have that damage. So I don't really see the benefit of that. It just seemed like a waste. I guess maybe there's some practical applications in doing it where you drain the charisma so that you're trying to get higher spell DCs. That might be a good option to go. I probably won't go that way though. So got the extra pack damage here. Just some extra spellcraft and concentration there that I had to take. It takes something that first tier to work up to second tier. And then the Tainted Spellcasting is the first innate. This is, I think, a really nice thing for any Warlock to take. For 1 point, this acts as a spell power boost. So, if you got an extra point, this is a really good place to spend it. To have that, an additional spell power boost. The Consume that I talked about in my first life, I had this. This is a chaotic damage dot, and so I've heard that it does a lot more damage if you focus on this tree. So we'll see. I wasn't impressed with the damage when I was in Light and Spirit, but hopefully do a lot more now that I'm focusing on this tree. And then here is just universal spell power, also melee and range power, but that's not going to help the way I'm playing this tune. And extra 25% fort and +4 saving throws to poison and disease from the second innate. Okay. So this is not a quest that I normally do. So watch me do something stupid. It's really low XP, so I don't bother with it. It's been quite a few lives since I did this one. So as I mentioned in the first video that I did for this life, I'm already really sick of the sound effect from the great Old One Pact, and that's the acid. It just sounds like, you know, I think last time I said it sounded like flatulence, like a dog farting or something. But it reminds me of like pneumatic equipment, like in a factory, and almost kind of sounding like the Kenneth crafting devices when you use them. I just can't stand it. I would not choose this pact, at least in a bursting build. For the sound effect alone, it drives me insane. But if you're doing or for a blasting build, if you're doing a burst build, I guess you wouldn't have to deal with that sound effect. Another lever around here somewhere. There it is. No, that one's already pulled. What the heck? I told you I was going to do something stupid. There's the other lever. So the cone shape, as they have acknowledged, has a much different area of effect than the visual would suggest. You know, it looks like a really small... See, I made the noob mistake of falling right into the fire jet, because I don't even remember how this quest works. So it looks like it's really small, but it goes pretty far. So I'm going to see, you can see I'm way back here and it's affecting them. One of the things that's kind of dumb though, let's see how far back I can get. Oh, they're going to follow me. So one of the things that's really dumb is when you're running and shooting it. I mean, you're running ahead of it. Watch this. You know, they really need to give it some momentum or something. Program it like a blast when you're moving or something. So that's pretty silly. Another thing that I'm not really liking about the blasting Warlock is this is gonna sound stupid, but it's just having to keep the attack button down all the time. It has started to become irritating to me. And you can't just put auto attack on, because if you do that, then other stuff you're trying to do is going to get interrupted. So it's you know, basically having to walk around with that button pressed all the time when you're playing. I remembered that lever was there. hate this room. Seems like I always get caught right here at this door and die in the jet. Those poison traps do a lot of damage anymore. They used to just poison you a couple years ago, but then they added it so that they actually do damage, and they do pretty significant damage. I guess it's because there isn't a really good way. There's no way to mitigate poison damage, although it maybe it's affected by MRR now. I'm not sure about that. Probably depends on the type of poison. One of the reasons I want to go for the extra pack damage right away. I mean, obviously it boosted damage, but the cone shape says you have -1 pack damage die, and it only scales with 130% spell power instead of 150 like the regular blast. But then again, the chain shape that scales only 110% of spell power, so that's even lower. So one of the disadvantages of the cone is that it just doesn't shoot as far. But so far, that hasn't really been a big deal. What am I missing? So what happens when you don't do quests for a while? You forget what to do. Ooh, that's an optional. It's got to be a lever. Don't think it would be that far back. Come on. Freaking crap. This room's a killer. Not that lever. That's for the door. Hey, there's a lever there. A mile back, of course. Seriously? Yay, the door's open. That was ridiculous. I think the last time I did this quest was on Gingerspyce's, what I was calling at the time my final druid life, because I was wanting to do every quest for maximum favor. And Redfang is finally dead. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. And if you happen to be on Sarlona, you are welcome to send me a tell.